I'm just in a different locale.
No, I just thought
What's
you was
up?
trying.
What's up? What's up,
Oh
fam?
no.
It is
Hey
time for
Kim,
Eating It
your
Eating Gail
backyard
and my
looks nice.
girls. Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. You know, I got my girls every month. We have been doing this because for real, we would have celebrated some birthdays and some other stuff because Kim had a birthday, Sean had a birthday, I had a birthday, Tawan had a birthday, everybody had birthdays, but guess what? COVID shut it down. Shut it down. Hello, hello, Andrea. How are you guys? How are you guys? Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you're hitting the share button. And so since COVID has been going on, I wanted to hang out with my girls. These are my sisters. As you guys know, that I was born with a whole bunch of boys. And so God has blessed me with some amazing, talented women in my circle. And so we just come on here at once a month and hang out. And we what is that noise?
We got some sound effects going on.
What's the sound effects? It ain't on my end. Is it on my end? I don't know. But anyway, so hello, can you oh she say somebody say happy birthday. Y'all see the comments? Yeah, yeah,
No, comments.
y'all don't see the comments?
Nah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Andrea said happy birthday to all the people that we missed the birthday. Wasn't that sweet? Anyway,
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you.
why y'all can't see the chats? I don't know why you can't see the chats. I can see all the chats. But anyway, and so anyway, I like to come on here once a month and just hang out with these ladies. We're just open and honest. We really don't have no agenda. And like I said, each and every last one of them has poured into me, has coached me, has got on my nerves, got in my butt, but they keep me on track. And I thank God for each and every last one of these ladies. And so there will be some more added on here. They're just late bunnies. And I see one of them trying to get in here right now, which is Crystal. So hi, Crystal. How are you? And here she go with her hands up in the air or whatever. And so anyway, I'm so excited to have you guys joining us here on there. And so tonight, my tea of choice, because I'm the only one probably really just drinking tea here, if y'all know what I mean, is brought to me by or brought to you guys. It's actually passion fruit, and I've tried it cold and I've tried it hot. It's really really good. It's by the Tea Lovers Cafe by Mr. Juan Lowe. So you guys go and check out the Tea Lovers Cafe, and I'll put the link to the Tea Lovers Cafe in the chat. Um, and send it to you guys. It is literally amazing. Literally, it really is amazing. And I'm not just saying that because she's my girl. I'm saying it because it is true. Hi Sonia, how are you?
Hi. I said
How
I'm just
are
a
you?
few
Thank
minutes
you so
late,
much for
but
joining
I'm
me.
on.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi everybody. All my sisters are here. Yes, yes, yes. Chris, why are you in here
Hey,
twice?
Sonia. Hey, Tawan. Hey, everybody. I get to do something fun. How about that?
Okay. All right.
In
So
the days of Corona, you get to do something fun.
so and so I'm just really excited about being able to hang out with these ladies. And as you guys know, God has been really amazing to me on this journey. And so again, thank you guys so much for hopping on. I know you guys are busy. I know you got 1,000 things going on, but I really miss you guys. And we haven't. This is the only way we really been connecting, and so I'm grateful for that. And so tonight, I have a couple of questions I want to ask y'all because it's all over the news or whatever. And so, ladies, if you're listening to me on Facebook or if you're listening to me on my YouTube channel, y'all can send us questions and we will answer any questions, anything like that. But as y'all know, I have seen some crazy shenanigans going on the news. The lady in Target lost it, pulled
I
down
missed
the
it.
rack with the mask. The lady at 7-Eleven got mad because the man wouldn't sell her a lottery ticket, so she spit on the counter because she didn't have on a mask. She was trying to buy some beer and a lottery ticket, right? My question to you guys, why am I hearing myself back?
That's me.
Oh,
I went over. It was me.
y'all are crazy. But anyway, the question becomes is, what do you guys think about these people that get mad because people are requiring them to wear masks? And what do y'all think about these people walking around with no mask on, talking about it's their right not to wear masks? What do y'all think? Anybody?
Sonia, you just busted out laughing. You must go first.
No, I'm not. Because y'all know. Listen, I hate wearing this mask. I'm gonna be honest, and I have to wear it too because of what I do. I meet with people every day at the funeral home, so I do understand the necessity, but it's very uncomfortable. And I was at my doctor's office yesterday, and the nurse told me that a lot of people are finding themselves fatigued because we're breathing in carbon monoxide. If you have to wear this mask all day. So, I mean, and you do get to take it off. I mean, I do get to take mine on and off, but I mean, I definitely understand the safety and why we're having to wear it, but it's just changing people's lives. It's changing our whole world, how we do business, how we interact, everything. And it's breeding fear because when you see those masks, it constantly reminds you of this pandemic. I mean, I don't understand how it died down and then it came back up. And I understand, they're saying they opened the country back up too soon. I get all of that. But I mean, just and everybody, gonna have their own views. But personally, I'm not gonna live in fear and be tormented by this thing because it's almost like I bet you money. I bet y'all money. When the election is over, this is gonna go away. You hear what I say? It's going away.
Okay.
So you're saying when Trump go away? You're saying when Trump go away? I don't care who gonna be president. When this election is over, this is going away. You watch what I tell you.
Okay.
Well, let me look at it from this. Let me give you my point of view. I understand that it is a burden. I understand that it can get on your nerves and all of that kind of stuff. And let me just tell you, I have been saving so much money on makeup. Not that I wear makeup all the time. None of us wear makeup on a consistent basis, to be honest, because we all have amazing skin. But let me just tell you, honey, the makeup bill has went down. Yes. But let me just tell you on the flip side of it. My husband is in the healthcare. And I have seen, and I'm about to cry, the toll that it has taken on my husband.
Wow.
Patience. Because he's dealing with children and dealing with children is a lot. It affects him a lot different. When he was dealing with adults and they smoked and they drank or was on drugs and they jacked up their lungs and they croaked on over, it's like, hey, you made that decision. But when you're dealing with children and they're dying,
right,
and every day this disease, this pandemic is presenting something new. So as soon as they think they're getting ahead of it, something else happens. Soon as they think they done conquered this and got this combination of meds, something else happens. I see the toll on my husband. I hear him saying, I hear them calling him all times of night, saying, Gail, we got another one. You need to be in the OR at 4:00 in the morning. I see my husband come home in the basement and have to undress in the basement of my house, take off his clothes, get in the shower before he can come up and hug and talk to his family because he's trying not to. I see that.
Yeah.
So
that's a firsthand view.
Small duty for me to put on a mask to protect myself because I understand that this is a killer. It is real, and it's not worth my makeup. It's not worth my nails. It's not worth any of those things. So I understand that it can make you depressed. I understand that it is uncomfortable. I understand all of that. But what I want to get across is I live in the house and I see it every day. That's my thoughts. Anybody else got any?
Speak, Gail. Go to.
I have a couple of thoughts. I think, it's funny that we see all these people saying that, you're taking away my rights. I have the right not to wear the mask. You're absolutely correct. You do have the right not to wear the mask. Nobody is debating that. But at the end of the day, when you exercise that right, you also say that I am being selfish and I don't mind causing somebody else to become sick because I want to be selfish. And that's what I see in that. I don't want to wear the mask either. I have asthma. So when I have this thing over my face, it restricts my breathing. It makes it harder for me. But at the end of the day, I know when I put on my mask, I'm not even protecting for one. I am protecting Gail or Kim or Sonia. And when you all wear your mask, y'all are protecting the other people. So I just think it is a matter of being responsible and not being so selfish. And we get it. We know that you have the right not to wear the mask, but to go in the store and act like a natural born idiot, look, and you're arguing and fussing and stuff coming out your mouth, stuff that we know that we're trying to prevent so people don't get COVID, but yet you're in there fussing and all this coming out your mouth. Please, just put on the mask. They didn't say you had to wear it for the rest of your life. I mean, you like putting on masks over your face and burning clothes. So, I mean, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was going to go somewhere else with that. So that is my point about the mask. And I'm just saying, wear it. It's not necessarily about you. It's just about everybody else. Because see, at the end of the day, when your family gets sick, I ain't got a goddamn dime. And I said it for no GoFundMe, nothing. You should have some life insurance. I'm not paying no money because you want to be irresponsible and selfish. And then you want to ask people, can you help me bury Sally Sue because we ain't had no insurance? No. Sorry.
You passed my purse right there, honey.
That's 2 cents. I'm going to go ahead and drink my little half and half tea now.
Mm-hmm. My purse on the chair.
All right. So, anybody else?
So go ahead. Yeah. So I guess maybe I'm in the middle. In that I wear my mask. I believe it. I just believe in just following order. I don't like it. Hurts my ears. I don't think that I'm any different than anybody else in that regard, but I wear it. The one thing that Sonia said that also concerns me though is how we interact. So, and that's been a concern for me in general. I don't have any problem with 6 feet. All that, again, I'm gonna follow the rules, but I am concerned that we have. I had conversation with a lady in Home Goods. We on opposite aisles, and it felt good. Yeah, I am the person who talks about those shoes, who cut your hair. I'm that person. Okay, so I am concerned that the level of, that this pandemic will leave a residual effect on how we socialize and how we communicate and how we feel about each other. Because I've always been concerned, given that, I have children with allergies. I've been concerned about how people will respond to them. Like I said, when they go off to college or when they out and about. I think it's kind of tripped out because, like I said, we're in the midst of not just a pandemic, but racial unrest. So, you can go in there and tear up a public store because of your rights, and they can kindly talk to you when other folks can't even watch birds without somebody coming for them. I think what's interesting for me is what we are exposing about our own humanity and our own civility and how we are and what we are becoming as a culture, period. And that's across the board. Like I said, I'm aware of the mask. I'm, like I said, it's inconvenient, all that stuff. But like I said, we got the option to stay home. The other thing is, like I said, are we even considering other people? I have elderly mother,
You know, are we considering like I said, we considering babies and children, like you said? Uh, I just think we're in a real interesting, really in a crazy mixed up world. And I do believe that we're not getting all the information, or we're getting what they want us to have. You know, like I said, it's a real trick bag, y'all. And I just think every day we just have to thank God and continue to just check in with ourselves and make sure that we're doing the best that we can do.
Anybody else?
Sorry, I'm late. I don't know what you all are
Well,
talking about.
basically, I started off by just telling the people, what we're talking about. I've seen on TV where people are acting a fool because they say they have a right not to wear a mask when they out in public. The lady was in Target and went off and threw all the masks on the floor because she just went off. She must have some mental thing. And then the lady in 7-Eleven, she wanted to buy her a 12-pack of beer and a lottery ticket, and the man asked her to put on a mask, and she got mad and spit on the counter and acted a fool just because he asked her to put on a mask. He said, I'm not denying you to buy what you want to buy, but I'm just asking you to put on a mask for your safety and for mine. And she went off. And so my thoughts is a lot of people are really upset or figuring I don't need to wear a mask and you can't make me. And again, I see a different side of this. I'm not in the medical field, but I'm married to someone that I love, that is on the front lines every single day. And so the question is what do you feel about a mask? And I get it. I had surgery on last week. I had to go into the office with a mask on, and luckily I had met with my surgeon through a Zoom meeting prior to, because they wouldn't even know who I was, and I wouldn't even know how he and both of them look, because everybody's hiding behind masks. You see what I'm saying? So you don't get the facial expressions, you don't get any of those things, and so and that's what she said, which was his assistant, was a lady, and him. They was like, Gail, we're so glad that we had our meeting before on Zoom, because we wouldn't have been able to see, what each other look like. I get that. But again, what is your thoughts about masks and how these people are behaving in public with these masks on without, wanting to wear masks?
Well, I mean, and I think I've talked to a couple of you all about how I feel about everything going on, but I'm good with it if it means that we're safer than we were without them. And I think people are, I don't know what the losing their mind about it, but I think people feel so trapped. It's a feeling of feeling trapped and controlled, and I don't have those feelings, so I'm not quite understanding what's going on. Even staying in the house, I mean, people really flipped out about it. It's like, you're telling me I can't go outside my house, and it's like they're stopping short of the reason why you're being asked to do something. And kind of to what Sean was saying, but I've had a conversation with somebody before, and they didn't think it was a big deal, and they thought that people were just kind of exaggerating this situation, so they weren't wearing a mask. And because my question was, where's your mask? And it was like, oh, they're exaggerating. I said, but you realize that this is kind of a situation where even if you don't believe that this is really as bad as it is, your mask is for me. So since I believe that there's something going on, I need you to put your mask on for me. Now, you can tell me, hey, I don't need you to wear your mask for me, but I need you to put yours on. But I mean, it's a weird concept that normally is not the main situation, is that what you do affects me. And I think it does kind of speak to people. I'm realizing that there's a lot of selfishness out here, and people aren't used to sincerely doing something for someone else. And we can't step outside of that. We're so about, well, if I don't believe this, then I don't have to do this, when this is not that kind of party. I mean, it's just not. So I wear the mask. I figured, get you some cute mask and rock it until we good. And if that means 2021, the joke in my house is that for the year 2020, I am going to be extra about this situation, and I'm okay with it. So give me my allowances for the year, y'all. So it don't even hurt my feelings when people laugh at me no more about my issues with this. So it's like 2021 I get together, but 2020 I'm not doing too much. I'm just not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so speaking of, you know, being in the house, right? At first, when it first happened, and I think that I'm of the norm. At first, I was like, okay, I could get a lot done. But you know, as time went on, I did start getting a little stir crazy, and started wanting to get out. But again, you know, I get to see a different side of it. And I seen how this was morphing into other different things just from the stuff that my husband was getting, and all of this kind of stuff, and other people who are in the healthcare profession that is part of my life. And so for me, I have decided that yes, I am going to go out and get some fresh air, but I am going to be careful, and I'm not going to be putting myself in a situation where I'm going to have to pay for it later if I can, right? Gil and I anniversaries coming up on the 20th, and usually we would either be going on vacation or going to a hotel, or you know, doing something, right, on a larger scale, because it's 32 years that I have put up with him. And so yes, I put up with him. And so and y'all can do say whatever.
Lord, Lord, and Lord, Lord, Lord.
Yeah, no
Okay,
comment.
this is
Chris
a
looking like
public forum.
Chris looking like she want to unmute.
I was going to say, Chris, go ahead and unmute, please. Can you please? Because for real.
No, I agree with you, Gail. And on the 24th, I say the same thing for mine. Not 32 years, but yeah, I've had to, he's
Yeah,
guaranteed me a seat in heaven.
yeah. And so
That's funny. A seat in heaven. Ours is
it's so
August
funny.
3rd.
Well, I think Kim has been married the longest out of well, Kim and Sonia. How long you been married? Sonia,
Huh?
how long you been married?
33.
I know
It's
that's
How
me.
long you
right.
been married?
It'll be 35
Hello.
August 3rd.
So Kim
Oh,
got me.
okay. Kim got us beat. But so Gilbert was like, well, you know, I could cook. I'm like, but then that's not us celebrating you too, you know, because you're cooking. So, and I normally cook anyway. So I'm really, you know, I'm very creative. So I'm really trying to think of something very creative that it will be memorable, but we will be safe. And so if you know, I'm open to any ideas for anybody who's listening. Something in reason. But with that being said, you know, I too felt trapped in the house, but I had to realize that my life and my children and all of those things matter more to me than just trying to get out the house.
Mm.
So I have an amazing house. So I go to my balcony, I go sit in my car, I go eat lunch in my car, you know, whatever. So I do get out and get some fresh air. Okay. So I was having this conversation with my oldest son, and my oldest son thinks like most, not like most people. And I was asking him, I said, Justin, do you think the Black Lives Movement that has rose up is truly making a difference? And so I want to pose that question to each one of you. Do you think the new Black Lives Matter that is happening right now is truly going to make a true difference in our society? Anybody want to tackle that? Hello?
Why y'all looking at me?
Well, everybody ain't looking at you. I think
I'm looking at you because you used to be an activist. You the one was an activist. You was the one that was an activist the last time we was on here. You the one that protest. So we're
well,
looking
no,
at you.
no. That was Sean. That wasn't me.
That's looking at Sean.
Yeah.
Sean was the one that was the protest.
Somebody look, Sean, somebody was looking at you, but you're actually on the bottom with me, so I probably was looking.
Okay, so Sean, it's your go. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat.
I think it's important. I think it's sparked conversations that we had not sparked before. My sister works for a corporation, and she has experienced. She's been denied promotions. She was asked a pay cut when her team was still performing, and she didn't have a place to go except but me. Y'all catch that? Okay. She had nobody to talk to on her job. The HR people were, they didn't do anything. And since in the past 6 weeks, you guys, they're having meetings, and they have, a multicultural forum, and they actually have assigned someone to have conversations and to be a safe place for specifically African Americans in that particular company. That didn't happen before this. So I think we have to be careful on how we define impact, influence. I think that's huge. Now, again, that may not affect any of us because we don't work for that company, but there's a trickle effect, right? Companies that we didn't even expect are having conversations that they would not have had otherwise. And so I think it's important. I think it's necessary. I think we have to have these conversations more and more. I mean, we're looking at everything from professional sports, right, with the Washington Redskins. We're looking at also professional sports. When you look at how many players are African Americans versus owners, I don't think it's going to stop. I hope it doesn't stop. And I do expect there to be change. I just don't think it's going to come easily.
I think the ground is kind of tilled for opportunities to share and to educate people. And I'll say more of our white sisters and brothers and friends, because for me out here where we are, I'm at the naval base. So lately there's been this opportunity to educate people, and now there's been an opportunity to really share our culture and our experiences with non-Black people, if you want to say, because, there's some things they don't know, the ones I know that care about me, they don't know, and they just haven't had the forum or to ask those questions or a safe way to come out with their questions. And I'm, to be honest, I don't think they have the right questions. Sometimes I just have to share with them. Hey, did you know about this? One young lady didn't even know who Emmett Till was. Just learned who Shirley Chisholm was. Just education. And sometimes I told them, I'm always texting something, and she said, oh gosh, this is heavy, Chris. And I said, I don't want to overload you, but what I want you to understand is, for what I'm sharing with you seems to be overwhelming, but that's what we experience on an everyday basis. To know the ice cream truck is playing a racist song, that's something that you guys find shocking, but for most Black people, descendants of Africans, or however you want to say it, grew up in a nation that was not sensitive to their needs or sensitive to them at all. And so there are things that have been blatant to African Americans that are we just got to deal with it. And it is very
and I got
so
educated
the ground
about
is
the ice cream truck song just here recently.
But the ground is tilled. So if there's opportunity, there's a way to share, because there's some people who really, really, my pastor is white. And so he's got questions, and he's like, what do we do? How do we as a church? And granted, our church is very diverse, but you still there's a time now that you want to really make sure that we're on this, there's a momentum, and we want to make sure that we optimize what's happening now, and how to be effective and sustain whatever whatever processes that are going to be.
Now, see, for me, my mindset is that all the stuff that is happening is great, but I think it's more important for the prayer warriors to ask God to change people's hearts. Because you can put laws in place, you can march, you can tear down stuff, you can build stuff up. We could wear Black Lives Matter shirts. We can have a whole avenue down in DC. But until people's hearts change, it's still going to be like the Black Panther movement, all of these different movements. And when things start going back to normal, we just going to be back in the same thing because it has to be a heart change to me. That's just Gail. Anybody else got something to say about that? Has to
Well,
be a
no,
heart change.
I agree with that, that it has to be inner because I haven't experienced any changes with people. And I do think it'll take time for this enlightenment. So some people are dealing with things that they've seen, but now it's in their face. So they have no choice but to deal with some of this. And it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. But I think it's a good thing that now you have to deal with some of these things that you hid from or you kept from people. So a lot of assumptions, and it's funny because up north, everything was always kind of hidden. But I had a culture shock myself with going down to Spelman to go to school, and life was very different down south. And I'd been called everything but my name, and it was real. And I had never experienced that growing up in Washington, D.C. Chocolate City is like, I didn't even know this happened. And even experiencing the KKK handing leaflets out on a suburban street, in front of the bowling alley. It was like, this is my life. We read about this in books and never dreamed in my time that this is what I'm looking at. So now it's kind of like the moment I had then is what some people are having now, where they were comfortable in believing that stuff doesn't happen for real, or it doesn't happen in our neighborhood, or that's only in books. And this whole moment has shown that not only is it not just history, it's like the world you live in. So now what you gonna do?
And what I'm finding for myself, in order to be more educated on African American history, because I have to say this as a woman in her 50s, I fall short with my own African American history. I'm just being 100% open and honest. I have probably studied more about African American history during this time, so I am able to answer questions than any time before since I've been out of school. And I'm just being honest with you. And I'm learning so much. But I will say this: somebody, whoever, needs to get an African American history book together, all in one, because
That's
it's
hard.
so much of our history that has been lost. It has been redefined. It has been watered down. It has just been a whole. It's a lot of stuff that we have no idea exist, and I know my children don't even know, right?
That
Unless
would be
they're
hard to
studying,
put in a book,
unless
though.
they're
That
whatever.
would be
And I know that Kim's son, her oldest son Philip, she sent me a link, and I don't know if I think she shared it in the
Can you
group.
do this? Can you do this? That's how Philip does. He blows your mind.
Yeah,
My
her
nephew
son
blows
is
your
creating
mind.
a platform, and I don't know
AI,
if Kim can. If
artificial intelligence.
Yes, it's a bot. It's an artificial intelligence bot that has a black voice. I'll share it on the link. I'll share it's on Instagram. I think I tagged you, Gail, and then maybe I tagged Sean. I can't remember. But he was
Black
talking
voice.
about like, yes, yeah. And he just it's I'm even when I say in shock, or I should say I'm in awe, because when I start listening to what he's talking about and how he says when people think about the future, they really don't have us in mind. They come to him because they want his input to have like the black point of view, but he said the bot that he's created it, and it's helping you to deal with like your emotions, and and he said he's had to go back to the bot himself to help him process all that's been going on as of late. He said it helped him a lot when Eric Garner and Philando Castile were killed, and he's had to re-pull it back up, and he has a team of psychologists and therapists on it now that are helping people deal with Crystal, dealing with all of those things. And he said he wants the bot to be like the green book of old, where like you're moving to another city, you can tap into that and find out where the barbershop is, where's the Black restaurants, where the hair salons, where the Black owned businesses. And so that the bot comes from a Black point of view versus, he says, because everybody's talking to Siri and to Alexa, but they don't have a Black point of view. He even posted
Who's
one time, wouldn't it be cool if Tabitha Brown, her voice, how soothing and melodious it is, wouldn't it be cool if her voice was the voice of the bot? And so just different things like that. So yeah, I'll post it, but yeah, he's talking about this. It can't just be a good idea, like the idea of the bot, he says, but it needs to be a good idea that we help progress it and we help move it forward. He says, because again, when people think of the future, he says what is it? He calls them futurists. I think that's what he was saying. I might be misquoting him, but he's saying, but when they think about the future, they don't have us in mind. They have all other cultures, or maybe mainly the dominant culture, which is white. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It definitely blows, like Crystal says, it definitely blows my mind.
Yeah, I was watching him and I was like, I think I'm a little intelligent. Just,
Why are you
probably not as smart as some of the people on here. But I think, and I was like, Jesus, like for real, she had him. And I know him, I met him when he was like 5.
Hey,
right?
Kim, he
And I'm
took
like,
all your stuff from you, girl.
I'm
He
like,
took everything
he's so up here, right? But again, I think that I am so amazed at these millennials that are like, I am unapologetic about what I'm bringing to the table, right? And so I want you to make sure that you post that so people who will watch this in the future can go and support the bot or whatever. What I also learned, and I don't know if you guys know, and this is something Crystal shared with me, and this is something every last one of us on here that are business owners need to be a part of it. It's called Official Black Wall Street. Did y'all know about that? Crystal introduced that to me the other day, and it's $50 to join, but to get a listing, a business listing. But we're all trying to support African American owned businesses, right? Or people of color. And it is a amazing website, and it's called Official Black Wall Street. So go check that out. I'm just throwing that out because, again, it is literally amazing.
Well, can I
It
share
really
too?
is, and it has a lot of resources. So if you have a business, huh?
Can I share too that
I
being
can't
an
hear
English,
you.
you can't hear me?
I
Oh,
can now.
okay. I was just going to share being an English major, and you were mentioning something about Black history. And I was always fascinated with, our culture or whatever, but I always need to kind of refresh too. But a lot of books that we used to read back in the day really do depict what, it's like sometimes I like to tell the young people to go back and read some of those, the Black and the Berry, all of those books that seem like old school and they've never heard of them before, but they really do kind of show what went on with us, like real time. The writings back then were like real stories. And even as far as Sean might laugh at me, but the other day, Jane Austen, was it Jane Eyre? Was it Jane Eyre? Came on, and of course a lot of my friends were like, what, why is she watching this? But it's our history. If you pay attention to what's happening in those stories, that was real life. So sometimes the history is sitting in those books, but by the time that they got into school, they weren't reading those books. But when you were talking about that, I was thinking I need to go back to some of my old literature and just reread it, because that told a lot about, our Black history, the racism that goes, everything that we see now, it was in those stories. and it was real. We weren't sugarcoating it. So I do refer people back to some of those old novels and readings, because they really do tell a story. And I need to go find mine because I don't throw away books. So I'm gonna go find some.
All right. Just to let you guys know, my tea, because I don't know what these other thugs are drinking, but my tea is provided by the Tea Lovers Cafe. You guys go support her. She's one of my sisters, but she also is an African American owned business. I put the link in the chat, so you guys go support it. I mean, not too many African American people own tea companies, so I just wanted to say that.
Hey, Gail,
One more thing I just want to talk about because
I want to ask a question. You talked about, you made a comment about shopping African American businesses. And I just want to ask a question to the group. What did y'all think about this one day of not shopping? I mean, this one day of just shopping African American. I mean, I get it, but what does that really do? I'm sorry, Gail. I know that ain't got nothing to do with your topics, but you said something about it, so that's why I just wanted to talk about it.
I love that. I mean, whatever y'all want to talk about.
I mean, but we're not going to shop just for one whole day. You want to hurt somebody, you got to be at least 30 to 90 days. I mean, I'm just saying. Just saying.
It's so true because one day does not really impact. It does not impact the businesses that I think that we would project to impact. Yet we recognize that we have financial power. Like, you know, we will spend. Okay, so I'm grateful when people come to the salon. Okay, so don't get it twisted. But at the same time, people will rob Peter to pay Paul, meaning Kim, you know, for a hairstyle or for get the nails done or get the feet done. And we have to recognize our power in that. And one day it's not enough. It's not enough.
And it's funny because, you know, when everything kind of exploded, everybody was like, we need to start taking our money and we need to start putting it back into the community and we need to shop all African American. And you heard this on social media probably about for 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden, I didn't even know what day the blackout was supposed to be because I heard nothing else about it. It was so many mixed messages. And I was like, so I'm not even understanding what I'm supposed to be doing. Is it June? Is it July 1st? Is it July 7th? When is I'm not supposed to look? When is I not supposed to spend my money?
Wait a minute. I can't let you do that.
When am I supposed to not spend my money? So, you know, it was just funny to me that, you know, when you start talking about, you know, do we think this movement is going to move and go anywhere? Because that is still part of the movement, whether we want to believe it or not, because it stemmed out of that. But how do we really start changing how we think and how we spend our money? Because our money is our power. We spend a lot of money. I don't have all the statistics right now, but I have done some research on how much money we spend in other people's community and how money don't stay in our community longer than I think they said maybe if 15 to 30 minutes, something like that. 30 minutes, right? Don't stay in our own community for 30 minutes. I think it is absolutely
30 minutes.
Ridiculous, you know, but how do we change that? Because one day does not stop that. One day does not. Now, I walked in Target yesterday and had to walk out because I remember, oh, there, this is the one day. So let me go back. I'll come back to Target.
And I spent money in Target.
She said she walked in Target.
Look.
She said, I'll come back tomorrow.
I'm stuck as she walked in Target.
Let me just take. You are crazy, but you know what, Tawan? That's an amazing question because I think you called and asked me. I said, I don't know. I got to call and ask Sean because Sean is up on all the days you're not supposed to go here, the days you're not supposed to buy here. And I was so confused. And unfortunately, everything around me where I live is, yeah. So I wouldn't have been eating or nothing, no toilet paper, no nothing, just out where I live.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna stay home.
Y'all funny.
I will say this though, when I've been in Target, it was, I mean, because when you go in there, everybody trying to find the Lysol and the Clorox. So it really was not crowded in the Target. And I was like, wow, there's really not a lot of people here. Yeah, it's that day. Let me go on and get back in my car because I can't buy nothing today. But I can buy something.
It was too late. I had already purchased something by the time I realized it was no blackout. It was the blackout. There was okay, I won't buy anything else. Like it was too late.
Oh, Debbie was worried about Kim. Joshua on here.
That's
Look.
me
He
too.
talking about that's Miss
Because
Kim.
they
Hi,
they
Joshua.
tell you
That's
where to
Banana.
go buy black. You hear? That's why I went to the link because it said today is blackout buy black. Hi, baby boy. Buy black owned, but they didn't say where to go to buy black
How y'all
owned.
doing?
But where do I
That's
find these black
another
owned?
thing. That's another thing, though, Chris. You got to know, like, for certain things, you got to know, like, I don't have a black grocery store in my area. I'm sorry. We do
I
not
just
have a
did.
black grocery store in my area. We do not have a black pharmacist in my area. Have black pharmacists, but we don't have a black pharmacist
Right.
that you can really get your prescriptions. So, I did. Oh, y'all, I did support black owned because I went to Carolina Kitchen and got me my so
You got you some food.
I was like, light bulb. I did.
I did spend my money after I left out of Target. I did go to a black-owned business. But if you really think about what your needs are, where are these black businesses that have everything you are? I feel for me and Lisa who love crabs and we just love crabs. We got to find a black-owned crab business so me and Lisa can still eat crabs 2 to 3 times a
Well,
week. I'm just saying,
well,
you know what, Lisa?
well, well,
She's like, well.
um, well, they were, of color, so, I mean,
He's trying to justify that now, Sean.
no,
You hear
well,
that?
no, I just, it does get, I understand what Tawan's saying, because it does get crazy trying to figure out, Monday, Tuesday, and then people give up, and then like, it's so hard. But then what I thought about was, let me call some of my friends who I know, have their businesses, and I'll support small, because I think sometimes what we do is we go for the large. We're looking
Yeah.
for somebody who, and we missing some of the lower people who, that have the small businesses, and us built, feeding into them will help them to become those. So maybe if we do that more, and yeah, the one day is not enough, but maybe it helps with, I don't know, maybe just being aware.
Yeah.
You do something and then people remember, oh, when we did this, and then they tend to, I noticed there's some people who even maybe didn't participate, it's still in their head. So they're starting to go look for people, certain businesses to support. So maybe that's one of the ways that it even though it was one day, it's kind of embedded in them to think about it, make a conscious decision. So yeah, and
I
maybe
think
it'll
they say some
grow.
more
And pick another day. Go ahead and say, let's do it put it out there on Facebook and say, hey, we're having another blackout day.
Okay, what about this? I want to
A
say
week.
this. For all of us that
A week.
on here, most of us have some kind of business or ministry or whatever. Now, when it comes to coaching, most of us have coaching some kind of way, health and wellness, ministry, or whatever. What I find is we could be at the top of our games, educated, credentialed, or whatever. But if we don't if we don't have this program that looks a certain way and we are not the right color, we will go spend our money over there to somebody that's less qualified than to find a coach that's qualified in the space that is credentialed. Why do you think that is? Because for me, and I'll speak for me. I know for a fact that I'm credentialed. I have everything that I need. I compete in the space of being an African American sexologist that is a licensed counselor. I have all my credentials. I have all of this stuff. But people will go pay somebody that does not look like me with no qualifications and be okay with that. And I
It's
know
two
you
parts.
guys, huh?
It's two parts of that because
And they
people
will
will
pay
go.
them triple what they want to pay me because they think that they're better because of the space that they're in.
Well, I think it's two
Systemic.
parts. I think that They will pay people who do look like you, who are not credentialed, and then they will pay people who don't look like you, who are not credentialed. And I think people have a tendency to run to the shiny and things that glitter and things that look like it's big, and they're not looking for substance. They're looking to be popular and looking to be in the in click type of crowd, because I know everybody on here who has a ministry or a business, and I know what you do, and I know people will shy away from us for reasons that doesn't even matter. They don't even know what the credentials are for half of the people on here, and they don't even care. What they do know is that we do not come on Facebook. We do not make ourselves a rock star. We do not broadcast everything that we do, because we just do our business the way we do business. Like nobody would ever know that I do government, I do training in the government. Nobody would never know that just looking at me, or because I don't get on Facebook and say, hey, this is what I do. So I think people devalue, and then they look at who you are as an individual, and they don't look at what you do as your business, and they can't sometimes separate. But I really think people like to just go to those who are the Facebook superstars. And when it comes to those other people, we just, I think it's mentality. We think because it's white, it's better. All right. I mean, let's just keep it real. You think because it's white, it's better, and that's not necessarily true. So that's my 2 cents. And I'm gonna go on back to my half and half tea.
I see. Well, I see some of what you're saying, Tawan. Like for instance, I'll bring up the crafts and dealing with the burlap wreaths and things like that, and I would do vending in my areas where I live, and it's a craft. It's you're making something by hand, and normally we go out and we shop, and we're willing to spend those kind of things when we go into these high-end designer stores. But then when someone's at a vending event and they actually are doing the same thing, and the price is not even where it should be, but you make some kind of allowances, and the response is what, like I'm not paying that for that. And so I kind of see what you're saying, because it's like, okay, so this is the same product. You can't find burlap everywhere, and I spent 4 hours on this
You went out.
and then
I
when
think
you
we all
say,
went out.
yeah, you charge like $100, and they're like, that
Did
is
y'all all blank
crazy.
out or just me?
No. So you charge
Hello?
you charge $100 for a wreath,
Don't know.
and nobody, they're like, that's too high. But if you go to a designer store, $100 would be like, you can't buy anything in here for $100. And we would go into that store and buy 2 or 3 things. And I can't really say I understand what the mentality is behind that, but I think some of what you said is just what it is. We automatically think that it's not a better. I don't know why we don't think it's a better product, but it's already embedded in us that if I go to a vending event in my area, I'm not going to find the same quality that I would in a designer store, which is not true. But if you already think that way, when you go into a vendor area, you just thinking, okay, well, I'm not spending over $50 for anything, even if it's worth thousands. You're just not going to do it. So I don't know where that comes from, but it's unfortunate because there's a lot of
And
people out here
and I
that
know
aren't
I've
even
had
charging their worth.
and I know I've had individual conversations, and even with Sonia, like I said, she be pouring into people, and I'm gonna say this, Sonia, you ain't even got to unmute. You be pouring into people, but they will, and I know you anointed and can knock them out and do all this stuff, and they won't even send her a cash app to say thank you, and they just snot and cry for 6 hours on her phone, but they'll go and drop to one of these other people that's on TV and don't even blink, and they ain't free. See what I'm saying? And so I just want to understand, as we move as African American people, and we say that Black Lives Matter and businesses matter, and we have buying power, and we have all of this stuff. Why don't we support one another to the magnitude that we support other people, right?
So we want
And
something for nothing.
Yeah.
Some of us
We've
want
been
something
conditioned.
for nothing. I mean, it's just bottom line. Some people just want something for nothing. They don't want to make the investment. I will go back to what Lisa said. You go to a vending event, you set up, you have made candles, you have put all your money, your resources into it, whatever it is, you pay for the essential oils and everything. You will go give Yankee $25 to $45 for a candle, but you can't come over here and support Sean, who is selling candles that she has made, and they smell just as good, last just as long. And some of it is, whether you want to believe it or not, some of it is from some people. I don't want to give them my money. Some of it is some jealousy to some degree, whether they say it or not. I'm not gonna give them all that. It's a whole lot of things that we have to tear down within our own community in order for us to get built back up. And the thing about it is, we want other people to do something different with us, but we won't do it different by ourselves. Period, point
Yeah.
blank. Maybe people need to start.
I totally 100 agree. I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. And it is something that I have all talked about. I just kind of wanted to put it out there, being that we are saying, that we're going to support one another. Our lives matter. Our businesses matter, right? Don't go buy at Target. Go buy at Sean's, candle shop. Go buy at Lisa's candle shop. Go get your hair done at Kim's or whatever. And it just it's just and I'm in a space where I deal with married women, right? And that's the biggest covenant that you ever cut in your life, to be honest with you, besides your relationship with God, right? Because yeah. Anyway, and so I just wanted to put it out there because it's just really, really like crazy to me that people will. They say, I had this one couple tell me they couldn't afford coaching, but they went on vacation and gonna call me on vacation because they fussing. I told them, don't call me on vacation because you should have fixed your marriage before you went on vacation. Don't call me. I'm not finna fix you while you in the Bahamas. Don't do it because I'm not talking to you.
I'm sorry.
You can talk to me. Uh, put your vacation on hold. Got your stuff right, and then went on vacation and been happy. I'm not finna talk to you from the Bahamas. I can't do nothing for you. But
I
see,
think it really comes down to what we value, though. What is important
That's
to
it.
you, and
That's
what
it
do
right
you
there.
value?
It's
And for some
perceived
people,
value.
yeah, I mean, some things are just not important. Now, I'm gonna say for what Sonia does, what you do, Gail, Sean, me, when it comes to coaching, people don't want to do that type of self-investment, especially when it requires you to uncover who you are to become who you need to be. Okay?
mhm,
We require work. So nobody's going to give me $350 an hour to do the work because they rather sit in their foolishness than to get right. Period, point blank. So that's another reason why people are not going to self-invest and do what they want to do. They're not going to pay Lisa $100 for a wreath, but they will go to Home Goods and pay $275 for a wreath that don't even look half as good as what Lisa does. Now, Lisa has a publishing company. People want to go to a bigger publishing company thinking they can't get the service that they need, where you can still come to her, get your book published and get it out and get the same kind of result, if not better, because she can give you the individual attention that you need. But we don't look at the value of what we're getting. And a lot of times we don't value ourselves enough to go pay for what we want.
Right.
I mean, it's
I
just
agree.
when somebody tell me that they're paid a certain amount of money for tennis shoes, but they won't pay to go to college. I think that's Eureka. Woo. I think that's right.
Good catch. Good catch.
But
But see,
college is
you
not for
know what,
everybody. So
Juwan, you're
don't
right.
get me
Because
wrong.
those same people was standing outside in Atlanta when they opened up, was wrapped around the Nike corner, but half of their marriages was raggedy, half of their lives was married, half of their business ain't making no money, but they got that $200 some dollars to go. But the minute I say $150 to save your marriage, to transform your marriage, and save your covenant, or Sonya didn't praise you down and you can't send her a cash out for $50, but you can go to one of them big churches and they don't even know who you are. They just say collect, 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 collect. that's a problem.
Oh,
Matter of fact,
after you buying tennis shoes when we can't go nowhere. You buying tennis shoes and ain't nobody going nowhere. Where are you going? You're not even gonna be wearing them. I don't understand. I
I want to be cute in my house.
They can show them on Facebook. They can show them on
Where,
Facebook.
look, when I saw the line, I said, and can y'all tell me where are you going? Nothing's open. Where are you going?
Oh my God. But you know what, Gail? You know what? When you think about when people, you know, you're talking about people investing in what Tawan said was really good, and people investing in themselves. But what I find is that people think that you're going to give them some type of magic pill and they're going to get healed just like that, or they're going to get fixed just like that, and they don't want to do the work. And so if they're investing money in it and they don't see results right away, they don't want to do it. Even if they, you know, I have 2 clients right now and they don't want to do the work. I don't know what they thought I was going to do was come and blow on them or something and make everything okay. But you got to do the work. This is you got root.
You ain't have a prayer closet.
You got no serious. They got deep rooted issues, and but you don't want to do the work, and I'm not going to chase you down for your money or your time because you came to me. So I think it's just people, and I think as a culture, as a race of people, we have a what I want to say, that things are supposed to be free mentality. We have this victim mentality. I think this whole mindset of not the general population of African Americans, but the large majority of African Americans, they have a mindset that things are supposed to be given to them. Honestly, I do, and I think they think it's supposed to be, because not given, it's supposed to be discounted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm so over that.
And you're right. And for me, and see, I think the people God has surrounded me with, we want results.
Exactly.
We don't want feel good, because Sean is my business coach, right? Sean has never told me, Gail, you're gonna make 6 figures in 6 weeks. She ain't never told me that.
Right.
Because nobody that is telling people that is true. I know people who have said 6 figures and 6 whatever, and they
She froze. She froze. Look at that face.
She froze.
Look at that face.
Completely frozen.
Can we do that face? Everybody try to do that.
She is but she is correct that you have people saying that you're going to get 6 figures in 6 weeks, and if you follow these 6 steps, this is where you'd be. And it's really just not that simple, because if it was that simple, most of us would have done that, and we would be having the 6 figures, and we wouldn't even need you as the coach, because we would have done all that. But people don't get it, and that goes back to me and saying people run to the shiny. You run to the thing that is sparkly and that attracts you and that catches you for the moment, and you're not looking for that long-term transformational change that will make a difference in your life and will get you the success you want personally or professionally. And that's just it, bottom line. People want that quick microwave, you know, fast food, get it done thing. And we all know, everybody on here knows that real change takes time. It does not happen overnight.
I think people are comfortable in the lie. I mean, unfortunately, I learned a lot when people are very comfortable in the story, in the lie. They don't want the truth, because the truth to me makes you have to deal. Then you got to deal with you when you deal with truth, because it ain't going to be somebody else. I mean, because the reality is truth is going to be about you. So, and people don't deal with themselves very well. So I would rather believe, and I'm learning more and more that people are so much more comfortable believing the lie. You can tell them the truth all day long, but they want to believe what's not true. Because even in positivity, when I went through some things like health wise, I noticed that the more I celebrated, and if something, you know, somebody was losing, I'd be like, it's okay, we're gonna be all right, or whatever. I irritated people, and I was like, I am really confused, but people were more comfortable with being negative or just being dismissive, and all, they were comfortable in that space. But the minute they ran across somebody who was just like, they were just like, oh my gosh, sit down somewhere. What's all that about? And I was like, why are people so mad about being positive, being happy, or it's like not comfortable. And I'm not, I can't put my finger on it, but I think because in order to get there, you got to get through some stuff about you. And people are so much more comfortable in blaming someone else for their
It's a
stuff.
mentality.
It's
Right.
a time we've learned how to
And
function in
it
pain.
hurts. It's hard. It's hurt. You're gonna feel some pain. You're gonna have to get checked. And most of the time people don't want to be checked. They don't.
They don't want to be accountable.
Nope.
They don't want to be responsible.
Yes.
They want to blame somebody else for the problem.
Mhm.
So it's such a, I mean, the topics that we're talking about have such a deep rooted historical
Yes.
issues that I mean, having conversations is, but there's so many deep rooted issues in our culture overall that it's going to take. I mean, it's systemic. It's literally systemic, and,
Yeah.
and some of it I believe is rooted in our heritage as far as who we are, as our, you know, where we came from. This, you know, that whole programming that we went through from slavery and all of those things, and that dependency and that welfare system. All of that has made us to have some of the mentality that we have, and you have to work to break free from that mentality every day, and not use your race as a crutch. Because
And I get that. And
You know,
the reason why I asked that question is because, like I said, I know that I'm surrounded by the best, right? And when I say the best, I really mean that because I know the study, I know all the stuff behind that. But I've seen it happen even with some of the people in my circle. They will go and drop $10,000, $5,000, $3,000, and they have somebody right here in their sphere, and they don't utilize them. And I just wanted to figure out, why do we do what we do? Anyway, before we get off of here, I just want to say thank you to Juan, to Kim, to Lisa, to Sean, to Kiki, which is not on here tonight, for helping me with my mom's makeover. Right, we did an amazing makeover, and you guys will start seeing it chronicle on my Facebook page. Lisa is going to be writing an article on this amazing single parent mom that was nominated. And I know y'all was seeing the advertising, y'all thought I forgot about it, but no, she was doing the work. She actually went through almost a 5-week process. And I know for a fact her life has been changed. She sent me an amazing email the other day. And I just want to say publicly, thank you guys so much for pouring into her. Lisa, thank you so much for chronicling this whole entire journey. I know she told me, she said her life will never be the same. She told me that I was a one lucky woman to have such amazing women that surrounded me. And I told her, I said, each and every last one of these ladies, plus more, have poured into my life. And I said, and I'm so grateful. So again, I just want to tell you guys publicly, thank you so much for being involved in my mom's makeover. For real, they didn't even know they was gonna be involved. I just told them, and it was, and
Voluntold.
I did. And each one of them just said, "Okay, I got you," and I'm so grateful for that. I know I'm gonna have to pay for this later on
yeah,
because
yes,
all of them be
yes.
having hints, and they get me. But again, I am so grateful to have these women in my life. So I just want to say publicly, thank you guys. And so you guys will be seeing more from Kara about that. And so be looking out on my Facebook page to see some updates or whatever. Like, she is like on fire, and she is an amazing, amazing woman that is raising her son, and she just holding it down. And this transformation opened her up to so many different things that she didn't even realize was buried inside of her. So I just want to say thank you for showing up, doing and walking in your gifts. And I know, yeah, y'all get me on the back end. I know y'all will get me on the back end. I know, but I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. And so again, ladies, I don't know. I'm just like so excited about evening tea with Gail. I hope you guys that are on here have enjoyed it. This is literally how we be sitting back in a restaurant. You know, they be having their cocktails, and Kiki's missing. Lisa probably hiding her cocktail. And Chris probably got her cocktail somewhere anyway. But again,
Mine is in here.
I have real tea in this cup, and it's by Tea
Mine
Lover
is in here.
Cafe. She
What
is
you
an
drinking?
African American owned business. I
A
put
lot.
her website in the chat. Oh, they got some cocktails, trust and believe me. But anyway, so for next month we'll be doing evening tea, so you'll see it advertised. Again, thank you guys so much. Good night. I love you guys to pieces. Anybody got anything they want to say before we get off here?
Be
No,
safe.
no.
Be safe. That's right.
Yeah,
Be
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 safe.
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 Wear your
Wear your
mask.
mask.
And you won't
Yeah.
catch me in nobody's restaurant this year, so don't even try it. Mm-mm.
Lisa, you're not going to
Y'all,
Uh-uh.
no,
go to
yeah.
the
If
restaurant?
y'all got some ideas for me and Gil, like me and Gil, that we could do outside the bedroom. I'm good in the bedroom. Y'all know that's what I teach. So I'm good in the bedroom. I'm talking about
Really?
outside the
Really?
bedroom.
Are you doing this publicly? Are you doing this publicly? Are we doing this right now?
Yeah, you good in the bedroom?
No, we
I'm
not.
good in the bedroom. I teach people how to get it on in the bedroom. I can rock that. I'm just talking about something to do something outside on the 20th.
Oh, well, I will add, this is just an idea, but
Ask Gilbert.
we were supposed to go to Hawaii to celebrate 10 years on the July 24th. But that's not
Oh,
happening. I'm not going nowhere. So I decided that I
I'm not
wanted to
either.
maybe do Maui in Maryland and maybe recreate Hawaii in the backyard, because that's as far as Lisa's going. So
I
That's
love
that's
That's
my
Maui in
hot.
idea.
That's
Maryland.
hot. That's hot. Yeah,
We
that's
were
hot. You
we
got
were
to
supposed
know,
I'm
girl.
working on it. I'm
I
working
like that.
on it.
We were
yeah.
supposed to go to the grill and have butler
Yes.
service and
Girl,
yeah,
you got to get
District
you a hula
35. We
skirt
were
and some
going to
coconut.
yeah, we were going to renew vows, or like at least do a commitment or something. Yeah, so we have to figure it out. Figure it out, just like
Yeah, because Lisa ain't going nowhere. Nowhere.
no,
Mm-mm.
and then what was so funny
And you,
was Sandals wasn't going to open until after the time that we were supposed to be there. So I had to call to cancel, defer it to next year. But the other part is this is year 4 of the kidney transplant. So it's like, no, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Can't
Not gonna
anyway.
do it. Nope.
no, yeah, Gil and I were literally Gil and I have planned to go to Arizona to this spa. This really, this World Shishi Spa. But yeah, no. So
Yeah,
I
no.
know how to throw it down as far as massages and all of that kind of stuff. I could do that. I got I can do my dance. I'm just trying to do something else.
If you
Is
see
she,
me outside of my
if she
backyard,
say
it's
throw it
not
down one more time, Chris, could you please hit her? If she say throw it down one more time, okay? Kim,
Show
Chris,
me.
I need
You
y'all
don't
to
need
do
that
that.
word.
Everybody, look at technology. Everybody don't want to hear all that. Everybody don't want to hear that. Especially somebody who ain't getting it.
Hung, hung, hung,
Sorry.
hung, hung.
Sorry. Sorry.
I love you guys. Anyway, I ain't think about none of you guys. Y'all go hit up Tuan on the Tea Lovers Cafe. Go buy some tea. And again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for getting on here tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all be
Yes, yes.
safe. Put on your mask. Don't act the fool in the stores. Bye.
Nice seeing you too,
Good
y'all.
night.
Bye. Good night.
Thank you for this.